All right, Shalom. This is Hara by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, Lay Hawa, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakakodah, Shema Amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwati, my children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I want to go into this topic dealing with these damn Africans. You got a lot of our people wanting to be African, or Egyptian, Egyptologists. So I want to go into it scripturally. Now, we know most of their books were written by Edomites, but that's not the angle I'm going for. Right now, I want to show something scripturally where the Egyptians, who were the Cushites, admitted that they and their people were wicked. All right? So I'm going to start from Genesis chapter 10, just kind of open up with this topic. Genesis 10 and 1. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah. All right, he had what? He had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. All right, and the flood was around 5,000 BC, or 4,000 BC approximately. All right, so you had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. We come through Shem, and even Esau comes through Shem. But then you have Ham, which were the Hamites, which were the African nations. All right, so we're not African. You can look in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It tells you that Ham is the father of the Canaanites. All right, Cush, the Ethiopians, the Nubians, all right, and so on and so on. Mizraim. Okay. So now we don't come through those damn Africans, even though they may look like us. Some of them. All right. Now through this, you had people like Joseph, where they thought he was an African, his brothers. Then you had Moses, who they thought was an African, and he was able to mingle amongst the Egyptians. So now let's get into it. It says here, Genesis 10 and 6. It says, verse 5, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided. So the isles of the nations were divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families in their nations. All right, so the division of the nations from Ham, Shem, and Japheth. That's how we all come through Adam. All right, through Noah. It says, and the sons of Ham, all right, Ham, which means chum or hot. The sons of Ham were what? Cush and Mitzrayim and Put and Canaan. All right, and you had the Cushites, which ruled, I think it was the 18th dynasty of Egypt. All right, they were called Cushites. Now, some say the Sudanese, but a lot of the Cushites were ran up into Sudan, all right, out of Egypt around 600 BC. So it says here, the sons of Cush, Sheba, Seba, Havilah, and Sapta, Ramah, Septica, the sons of Ramah, Sheba, Dedan, and Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty hunter, a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. All right, now we get people like Obama and them from. And in the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, right? And Erech and Akkad, we get the Akkadian language, and Calneh, and in the land of Shinar, out of the land went forth Asher and built Nineveh, all right, and the city Rehoboth and Calah, and they was all speaking the Akkadian tongue at that time. All right, the Assyrians as well, Asherites, and they went and built Nineveh. It says, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lahabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came the Philistines. All right, where you get people like Goliath, or what they call the Anunnaki, be the giants of that time, which would be the Rephaim. All right, the tall Africans, man. And they were called giants. Now us, we were called giants, but it was called Nephilim, which would be the fallen ones. That's the word for giants right there. So it's a big difference. So these them Africans, right? And Canaan begat Sidon, the Sidonians, his firstborn, and Heth, and Jebusite, and the Jebusite and the Amorites, okay, were all Africans, and the Girgashites, and the Hivites, and Urkites, and Sinites. And you had a lot of our people living in those lands. And the Arvadites, and the Zemarites, and the Hamites, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. All right, what they call Africa today. You know, they moved around through Africa. And the borders of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim, even unto Lashad. All right, because you know the Sodomites and the Gomorrites, they were Africans as well. All right, so these are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries and in their nations. All right, now this is Joseph when he was dealing with Benjamin, all right, his younger brother, and he was basically bringing him into Egypt and ready to feed him. All right, so now to get to the point, it says, where is it at? I'll start from Genesis 43 and 25. It shows you the mindset of those Africans, those Egyptians at the time. All right. And I think the Pharaoh was Amenhotep II. All right, that's the one you want, Amenhotep II. And he was known as a Cushite. All right. And his dad was Tutmos III. Genesis 43 and 24. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water to my brothers. And they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender, and they made ready the present against Joseph. Came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand in the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. All right, because we know Joseph was raised up to almost the status of a ruler in the Egyptian empire. All right, to the dream he had about the Pharaoh's, the understanding he had about the Pharaoh's dream given to him by the Most High, about the famine that was coming. And they answered, and he asked them of their welfare, and said, is your father well? And the old man of whom ye spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, these is brothers speaking, of Israel. And they answered, thy servant, our father, talking about Jacob, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed themselves down their heads and made obeisance, because they thought Joseph was one of those Africans. He looked just like an African. All right. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, is it your brother, your younger brother, or whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, "Set on the bread." All right, he kept his poise, man, because he wanted to keep the act that he was making his brothers think that he was still an African, so he could put fear in them for what they did. They tried to get rid of Joseph. But just to get back to the point, and they set on the bread and the food, and they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves. So the Egyptians set the food up for themselves, and then they set the food for Benjamin and the Hebrews separate. And for the Egyptians, which did eat with him by themselves. All right, so the ones that ate with Joseph. Because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews. See, the Egyptians thought that Joseph was basically like one of them at that point. It says so the Egyptians thought they was too good, man. Just like they do today. You see all them Africans, man. But what did the Lord say? What happened right here? Check this out. And the Egyptians, and they set for him by himself, and for them by themselves. All right. So for Joseph and the food for the brothers of Israel and for the Egyptians, which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Wasn't that something? Just like having a beard, they thought that was unclean. See, that's why we're not supposed to keep those customs. We're supposed to, not bald our head or bald our face like the Egyptians. All right. So yeah, they thought they were better than us. But yeah, man. So this is Exodus 11, but this is what the Lord says. And now the modern day Egyptian spiritually would be Esau. All right, and that's a whole nother topic. But Exodus 11, and 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, man. Against man or beast. Wow, so even our animals are above them. So just like in this society, they put us below the dogs. In our kingdom, even the bells of our horses are going to be royalty, man. All right, separated, holy. So it says, and against man or beast, man. So they can't even talk against our animals. That ye may know how the Lord Yahweh doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, man. So the Lord said, put a difference between us and them. We're different from them. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power, talking about Israelites. Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So not just the Africans, but all people, all the nations. Scriptures say that in 2nd Ezra. Let me get that real quick. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 16, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam, also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creations, of him come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. See, we all come through Adam from the ground, actually from through Noah. All right, a just man, and then the nations came from Ham, Shem, and Japheth. All right, so and the people whom the Lord has chosen now. Talking about the Israelites. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes, as for the other people which also come of Adam, the Africans as well, and Esau, and these other nations. Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel, man. And he said that in the book of Isaiah. And he was talking to these nations, man. All right. He said they're like a drop that falleth from a bucket. It's just vanity. It's just vanity, man. all the witchcraft and the Africans do. You had Shaka Zulu. When you watch that movie Shaka Zulu, there's a part in the movie that said these are the Hebrew slaves. You know? So they look down on our people. All right, Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. So we're holy and separated to the Lord. Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. See, I want to read that, again. All right, because this is Sirach 17 and 17. For in the division of the nations, see, when the Lord divided the nations, right? All right, so let's get this. This is Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided the nations, all right, and he really set up the division after Ham, Shem, and Japheth, as I read earlier. Let me get that real quick again. Genesis 10:32. These are the families of Noah after their generations in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. All right, and who is it talking about? Verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, and unto them were sons born after the flood. So by these the nations came upon the earth. That's how we got here. All right. So this was the dividing of the nations. Now let's get this again. Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritances, when he separated the sons of Adam, see that? When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. See, of Adam come we all, even the one who he has chosen. All right. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Woo-wee. All right. That's right, man. We're the Lord's inheritance, like a bride in a kingdom. We're the Lord's inheritance. Sirach 17:17. For in the division of the nations, the whole earth, right? Look at the dividing again. And the Lord separated a nation unto himself and put us above all nations, especially them damn Africans. For in the division of the whole nations, of the whole earth, Jake be just walking around and shit. All right, it says here, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. So the Lord set a ruler over every people. People like Nimrod, whom they worship today, and their idols. Even Esau have their rulers and their idols that they worship. But Israel is the Lord's portion, man. See, there it goes again. Whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline. He nourished us coming out of Egypt, being his firstborn nation. All right. He nourisheth with discipline and giveth him the light of his love. Giving him the light of his love doeth not forsake him, man. So the Lord did not forsake Jacob, Israel, even to today. And after us, being the first fruits into the kingdom, the hopeful elect, and then the rest of Israel, Lord willing, I'm amongst the first fruits myself as well. And then the other nations will get the laws and statutes and commandments and be able to live correctly upon this earth. But it's going to be set in order under Israel, the standard. All right? So, yeah, man. So here you go. It says here. So we're being nourished in the discipline. What's that? The discipline is the laws, statutes, and commandments. And now we're being nourished in the truth. And giving him the light of his love doeth not forsake them, man. And that's another thing that makes us better than these Africans. You got these people want to be African so bad, man. but they have no answers to what's going on right now. Therefore, all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. That's right, man. So the Lord is watching everybody. That's right, man. So the Lord nourished us in the laws and separated us unto himself as his firstborn. When we were birthed as a nation coming out of Egypt. All right, and he gave us a covering, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. And even today we have a covering. All right, Yahushua. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore, Salaki, I'll start from 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh, my power, that's talking about Moses speaking, all right, giving the laws the second time before they went into Canaan, and took their, got their land, inheritances. Even as the Lord, my power, Yahweh, commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. And keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people, man. They still gonna say that. And even in the kingdom, they're gonna say that. All right. The Lord said he's gonna make all our officers peace, righteous, man. And he's gonna give us crowns as a badge for people to know that we're of the kingdom. We're of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right. So the Lord has separated us from these damn Africans. You got a lot of our people over there and mingled amongst them that's going to come out of Africa as well. So this was our wisdom in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people, man. People like Daniel. People like David. All these nations had to say that eventually, that Israel is a wise and understanding people. And they're going to say it again, when the Lord delivers his elect. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. For what nation is there so great? Israel is above all people, man. So what nation is there that's so great? Who have Yahweh so nigh unto them, man? And that's something, man. The Lord is near unto us. What nation can you think of? All right. As Yahweh, our power is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? All right, because when the Lord brought us out of Egypt, those Africans, they were forced to admit it, that we were better than them, and that we were the children of the Lord. And that's what the Lord's proving again today, man. Who are the sons of God? Wisdom of Solomon 18:11. The master and the servant were punished. Talking about the Pharaoh and his son. They were punished, right? After one manner. And like as the king, so suffered the common person, meaning that everybody in Egypt got judged, except for the children of Israel. Right? The Lord protected the Israelites and brought judgment upon the Egyptians. Just like today, in modern day, spiritually Egypt, America, the Lord's going to bring judgment upon the houses and the people of these heathens, man. All right? And our nation that's in that Gentile state of mind, that want to be Egyptians, that want to be Edomites, Africans, whatever you want to call it. All right, so the Lord's making another separation today. Now, so they all together had innumerable dead, with one kind of death, man. So the Lord brought the plagues upon Egypt, and all the children, the firstborn, was dead. And it was so many that they didn't have enough people to collect the bodies. All right. neither were the living sufficient to bury them. For in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. Wow, man. In one moment. Sound like America, right? Any moment, any day now, we're going to wake up and it's going to be mass death everywhere, man. All right. Here it goes, says, For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn. All right. Remember, they was all bougie in the beginning. Talking about they wouldn't eat with us. It was an abomination. And they thought we were lesser than them. You know, and they were casting out our children and try to kill all the male babies. You know, and that's how Moses was brought up. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn. See, this when they finally what? All the plagues that the Lord was bringing upon that place. And then you had the witches that was trying to say, oh yeah, we can do that too. Look, that's all it is. Look, see the water turn to blood. Look, see, we can do it too. See, even today they're trying to do that with science. All right? They're trying to deny the Lord's existence with science and their witchcraft and their enchantments. But upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be the sons of God. They had to acknowledge it, man. The Lord forced them Africans to acknowledge it, that we were the sons of God, man. We were the children of the Most High. And we walked out of Egypt with abundance, taking the necklaces off of their necks. And they still hate us for that. That's why they all confederate against our nation, man. All right, because the Lord made Moses a god in the sight of the people, man. The Lord said, ye are gods. Our nation's on the level of gods, man. But he said, ye shall die like the princes, the rulers of the world, of the earth, all right, the common man. But now the Lord is raising us up to be gods. Exodus 9:23. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground. And the Lord Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote together throughout all the land of Egypt. Just like today, you're hearing about record-breaking weather events, record-breaking death. You know, that's why the Lord said that everything that's coming on the earth has not been ever since. You know, since the beginning. It's gonna be a time, man, bad times, evil times, man, coming. So let me keep going with this point. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast, and the hail smote every herb of the field. So, you know, just like today, you got the famine, you got, you know, the plagues, everything that's happening in the society, and break every tree of the field. So imagine Jake seeing that. Like today, you claim to be in the truth, but you see that happening. You got a lot of people not having faith. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail, man. So no hail landed amongst the children of Israel. Just like today, the Lord said, when the judgment comes, the elect are going to be exempt. But here go the point. The Lord made them Africans admit it. It says, and Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron. All right, Moses and Aaron were both Levites from the tribe of Israel. And said unto them, I have sinned this time, and Yahweh is righteous. So he had to give praise to our God, Yahweh. All right. and I and my people are wicked. Ooh. So him and his people, they had admitted that they were wicked, man. You know? So them Africans, by the admittance of their own leader, Pharaoh, Amenhotep II, the son of Tutmosis III, they admitted that they were wicked, you know? So 2/3 of our people that follow after them, that want to go back into Egypt, that don't trust the Lord, they want to go back into Egypt, and they want to bring them those idols that they worship, like the golden calf. They want to bring that and worship it. All right, so that's why the Lord said He's gonna bring all the plagues of Egypt upon this place, and the same ones that were selling out in the wilderness, they're selling out today. All right, but the elect are gonna wake up and be delivered. All right, and I'm gonna end it with this one, man. This says it all. Genesis 9:20, and now I'll start from 19. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. Now we know who that. See that? All right, the division of the nations. All right, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. So he had a vineyard with, grapes and wine. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, those Africans, man. And as the apostles were bringing it out last week, that's the reason the Lord allowed us to go into that land, going along with the promise given to Abraham, and he gave us that land from the Africans, man, those Canaanites. And they was in there defiling that land as well. But this curse that he put upon them predestined us to get that land, all right, and have them in captivity. The Lord put a curse upon them. Just like he put a curse upon Esau as far as their inheritance. It says, and Ham, the father of Canaan, the Canaanites, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And we know what that's about right there. Can't really speak about it on YouTube. But the alphabet community, right? And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders. All right, and Japheth represent the Samoans and Hawaiians. You got a lot of our people mingled amongst them as well. And went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his youngest son had done unto him. And he said, cursed be Canaan, man. So the Lord put a curse on him. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren, man. So he's going to be a servant unto Israel. All right, servant of servants. And he said, blessed be the Lord Yahweh, power of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. All right, so that's according to prophecy. So the Lord put a curse upon them damn Hamites and them Africans that they're going to be under us, man. So that's what they got to look forward to, slavery as well. All right, but they're going to get some form of living after 1,000 years. All right, so yeah, I'm going to end it there, man. But he said, cursed be Canaan, and they're going to be a servant to Israel, all right, to Shem, through Israel, all right. So with that, I'm going to say, yeah, man, them damn Africans are wicked, spoken out of their own mouths. So that I'm going to say, shalom.